This year, as national treasures has sold over 1 million units in just 8 months, adding fresh momentum to the cultural production industry. What's driving this market is the emotional economy, as it directly taps into a young force is now shifting from made in China to creating in China. From trendy toys to wave making, China's creative capacity is now developing fast, not just in commerce, but also in terms of cultural influence.
I remember growing up really loving the holidays because there are a lot of gifts, right? You know, whether it's the holidays or the birthdays. But once you become an adult, it's become such a hard choice to make to buy gifts for your family and friends and your kids. But fortunately, Labubu is, everyone loves Labubu, and this turned out to be the most sought after gift this year, apparently. And it's also opened a lot of doors to a lot of other Chinese cultural IPs as well. I'm just curious, what are your favorites, guys, Mohan, and what did you get for yourself and for other people for this holiday?
Well, I didn't get a Labubu because they're so hard to get, but I do have this one I want to share with you. Take a look. This is a fridge magnet that I bought from the Temple of Heaven. So you see there's a pink dragon in front of it. It looks very cute, and what's even amazing about it is that you can use your cell phone, turn on the camera, and scan this fridge magnet, and an AR effect pops up.
Wow.
You should try this. And
so it's a gift in a gift. Maybe I don't have my cell phone right here. Should I grab one and try this? What does it look like?
I'll show you the video about it. It's just like a dragon pops up in front of you, and it looks gorgeous. This is actually the most tech-savvy cultural products I've ever come across. This is really cool.
VR, or I should say AR. Magnet. Now that's something. That's one of a kind. Love that. Okay, what about for you, Michael?
Yeah, this is beautiful. I've actually, I've seen a lot of this, this magnet in the Temple of Heaven. Very beautiful, but I do not know there's another story behind it. So definitely I will check it out. And to be honest, I haven't received any souvenir, any gift this year yet. Kind of boring.
I think I've got just the right gift for you. Our team got this for us. It's also, what do you think this is?
Yeah, this is a phoenix crown. I've seen a number of times that one in the Forbidden City.
Obviously, he's the expert. It's also, but what exactly is it? It's a phoenix crown, of course.
Yeah.
Is it a souvenir? Is it what is it used for? What does it go on?
Yeah, go on to the refrigerator. It's
a magnet. It's another magnet.
It's another magnet.
This is the year of magnets for us. And it's one of the most sought after artifacts at the National Museum of China. And the reason why it is so big is because they're actually the real one on the real coronet. There are 100, I think it's 100 gemstones and over 4,000 pearls.
That's right.
It's just look at the minutiae of this. So an incredible gift for anyone, even though it's it's a magnet.
This is really cool.
This is for you, Michael.
Oh, really?
Whoa. This is for you. Here
Surprise, big surprise. Thank you so much.
For somebody who hasn't received the gift.
Thank
you. What kind of gift? What about for you, Professor? What would you give, and what did you get?
I also it's a fridge magnet, but I don't know that one because I have just bought one from the Jingdezheng.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's a China magnet. It's like a China magnet, and it's no right legs. It's a 2-dimension. And I bought one, it's a 3-dimensional. Yeah, it's also with the AR effect. Yeah, if you use our phone to scan, you can see the China it's in front of this magnet. Yeah.
Okay, so AR is in this year.
Yeah.
Huh? Michael, the Forbidden City, the Palace Museum, is absolutely one of the most famous calling cards for China. But in China, the Forbidden City, the Palace Museum ancillary products are so successful that it's made the Forbidden City one of the most profitable museums here in the country.
For sure.
Now, did you see our foreigners also jumping onto this bandwagon of these Palace Museum ancillary products?
Yeah, for sure. They are always got amazed by those beautiful cultural products selling in the Forbidden City, especially the items which combine with the Chinese culture, like the magnet, the one we just had. and also the chopsticks and the fans, they all combined with the Chinese artifact, Chinese elements. So they are all amazed and rush to buy those kind of small souvenirs to bring home. So this is not only a kind of gift, it is also something embedded with the Chinese culture.
Yeah. I wonder if my father's going to use chopsticks once I get some chopsticks from the Forbidden City, because he doesn't use chopsticks. Still, he's the only Chinese person that I know who doesn't use chopsticks. And Professor, why do you think these Chinese IPs are doing so well with overseas audiences?
Yeah, maybe I think have lots of reasons. One is the enhancement of the cultural confidence. Yeah, especially for maybe the younger generation, because they now is express themselves. It's not just to coincide with the Western values. So they love at least the magnet with the Chinese, maybe with the Chinese traditional culture. And the second one is stimulated by the culture digitalization, especially some we say the A, B, C, D, G. It's AI and blockchain and the cloud computing, and maybe the newly technology. It's integrated closely with the culture and the technology level to promote such maybe whatever like magnets and other like pop mart and Lex toys to promote into the market.
I'm curious. Everybody knows about Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, right? But what does it take for these Chinese IPs to grow into those long-lasting global icons, such as Mickey Mouse? Mohan, why don't you?
Yeah, like I said, I think we could be all mini reporters, and we spread the word about Chinese IP. And I think, like Professor Dai said, there are talented in every field, and we're transforming these IPs into different kind of movies,哪吒, and Labubu also. As long as people love it, we talk about it, and more people know about Chinese design, that's going to turn these products into long-lasting IPs that are known to the world.
And Michael?
Yeah, I think it takes a little bit longer time. It takes a little bit of time to get the Chinese IPs so popular in the world, just a matter of time. And also, let's maintain the constant storytelling of these IPs. From me and from other people when we meet up with those foreign tourists. So I think that will become naturally popular eventually. It will not take too long to get those IPs very popular.
Fantastic. Hopefully, before our last breath, we'll see. Well, we've unpacked the magic formula for turning Chinese IPs into timeless global icons like Mickey Mouse or Snow White. But at their core, these cultural products all boil down to one thing. They are your ticket to grabbing and living a slice of Chinese culture. Now, some people hook in through cinemas, others snag a collectible, and more than ever before, people are opting for the ultimate immersion by hopping onto a plane to China. With the country's most open visa policies yet, travelers from influencers to newbies are all uncovering a buzzing contemporary China and sharing it with the world. Take a look.
Learning to pour tea with a long-spouted pot in Chengdu. Browsing the stalls of a recreated ancient street at the Hengdian Film Studio. Or visiting the majestic Hala Prayer for Good Harvests in Beijing.
This is actually the symbolic beauty of Beijing.
These diverse experiences across China have not only filled my 2025 with surprises, but also have become part of the shared, unforgettable memories for numerous travelers flooding into the country.
I'm from New Jersey, USA.
Denmark.
I'm from India.
China.
The core engine, China's expanding visa-free policies.
Write down the information.
China now offers unilateral visa-free entry or full mutual visa exemption to travelers from over 70 countries, while the visa-free transit policy has now been expanded to cover more than 50 nations.
We've sort of seen this explosion of inbound tourism in 2025. How would you explain it, Michael? What's your experience like?
Yeah, I'm from actually the tourism which picked up again in the middle of the 2023. So I've seen a lot of tourists are flooding into China after 3 years closing down. There are a lot more. I think there will be a lot more in the upcoming new year in 2026.
And what's changing these tours, and also in terms of their interest compared to tours from 10 years ago?
Yeah, we changed a lot. So back in the day, 10 years back, and most of the tourists will be coming into China with a large tour group. But now they tend to traveling independently and personalizedly, and they would book the tours from booking the whole package into the small item booking. Like they would purchase one single airport transfer, or just a 1 day or half day forbidden city tour, or even simply a night tour to the Peking Opera or the Peking Duck. So it's not become more customized.
Yeah.
So this is the trend for the inbound tourism. That's a major difference from 10 years back.
And did you guys see foreign tours, venturing to places that you would not have expected before, Mohan?
Yeah, last month I went to Chongqing, and I mean, this city is truly living up to the title of a cyberpunk internet famous city. It went viral on TikTok this year, Chongqing City. And I never used to think of Chongqing as a city, as a go-to destination for a lot of first-timer tourists from abroad, but I did see a lot of foreigners. They're eager to check out Chongqing's magical 8D architecture, like the train.
8D.
Yes, a train going through a building, right? And I also remember that the other day I was having dinner at a hot pot restaurant. It's just a very ordinary hot pot restaurant you would see on any street. And in there, I didn't expect to see tables of foreigners. They're eager to try out some ingredients they've never tried before, and they really enjoy the spicy Chongqing flavor.
Wow. And what about for you, Michael? Did you find out anything spicy, unexpected, with these foreigners in unexpected places that you normally don't expect, outside of the iconic landmarks?
Yeah, it's actually everywhere. I see them, wandering around, hanging around every corner in Beijing. But sometimes even I just encounter some customers that were wandering in the Huzhong narrow alleys and try this local food tour. Some kind of food I have never tried before. They just hop in from one place to another place. Yeah, they literally tried the kind of different cuisines in Beijing on single one night. They started from the hot pot, and then dumpling, and then noodles, and eventually they'll try some local snacks. So that's kind of something I have never expected before. I've never seen people that spent only one night, they tried so many cuisines in the Huzhong area.
That's a great way to travel. Travel by cuisine.
That's
this
right.
is, all within 1 day, or within over the period of a month or a week?
I mean, 1 day.
One day.
Single day.
Wow, that's a lot of food to try in just 1 day.
On top of the local cuisines, they'll try the local beers and local alcohol. So they're gonna
Great idea. Great idea for our next holiday. Professor, for you, did you encounter anything new? I mean, this is new for me.
Yeah. Because now I see the foreigners, because in the past, maybe in the big city like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou, now if you in the Tier 3, even below the Tier 3, some of the small cities, we also can see lots of the foreigners, which such cities. And I want to take a quite typical example, is Yiwu. Yiwu, yeah, because the foreigner want to buy everything cheap things from the Yiwu, so they reach the Yiwu. So I think it's a quite interesting phenomenon. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Yiwu, just for information, is where a lot of Chinese products are made.
Yeah.
They have a giant manufacturing facility right there. Yeah. But of course, people are not only going for made in China, they're also going for design in China.
Design in China, and creating
these
China,
toys are coming in. Mm-hmm. And Michael, what is the most asked question by foreign visitors?
Well, too many questions. All kinds of the questions. say when we go to the Forbidden City, a lot of people would ask me why the Forbidden City is cut as such as a forbidden place, forbidden city. So I would tell them the Forbidden City is cut as such because of that was the forbidden place. To the common people, they were not allowed to go anywhere close to that place. And when we were traveling on the street, when we were walking or sitting in the car, they would ask us, "That's a question for you guys too." So they would spot the scooters everywhere, electric bikes, which they put a curtain on the scooter and hide on the handlebars. They would ask me why they put a curtain on the scooter.
It's a shield, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a shield.
Definitely to block the wind and keep them warm.
Yeah.
There's also umbrellas on scooters as well in the summer.
Yeah, in the summertime.
It's really funny. It's something we see every day in our daily life, but it's a new thing, fresh thing for foreigners, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it makes sense because we often go to a new country with endless questions and also infinite curiosities, right? But once you hit the ground, the script really flips. Well, as you will see, visitors can't stop gushing over the incredible landscapes, the mouth-watering cuisine, and timeless cultural vibes. Let's hear straight from some of the tourists on their adventures.
This is insane.
The most beautiful city.
This is so cool.
Oh my gosh, we're on the Great Wall of China.
It's undescribable. You have to come here.
I'm shocked by how different Shanghai is to anything I thought it would be. It's extremely modern.
We've been so looking forward to coming here as well. I actually can't believe we're here in person. So we got the 3 wheels there. China is somewhere I thought I would never be lucky enough to get to visit, and I'm so grateful that there is a visa process now where you can come, you can transit through, and you can spend a few days, because seriously, incredible country.
Oh my god, do you see it up there?
It's massive!
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
That is just incredible.
Now, winter wasn't usually the traditional season for traveling in China, right? But nowadays, a lot of provinces are thriving on winter tourism. What are your favorite winter getaways, guys? Mohan?
Well, for me, Hainan, of course.
You just came back from Hainan, I know.
For 5 consecutive years, I traveled to Hainan during winter with my family. You know, I just enjoy the beach. Who wouldn't love a beach, the sunshine, the coconut? So Hainan, of course.
Okay, well, China is vast. It's got a lot to offer, from the tropical beaches to the Siberian phrase up north, where you can ski. It's incredible. Where would you want to go, Michael, for your next holiday?
For me, I'm not a winter guy. I don't like cold weather either. Yeah. So, but there are a lot of foreign tourists. They were inquiring about the tours to Harbin to try this winter sports, winter tour in Harbin. But for me, I prefer this warm place. Maybe to southern China. I went to Fuzhou at the beginning of this month. It was amazing. Yeah. I love this warm place. Relaxing with a slower pace. Maybe to Hainan as well.
We hop on a plane together.
We go to Hainan every year, so we understand. But I'm also trying to muster up the courage to go to Harbin, where to see the Ice and Snow Festival, which is extraordinary. It really blows your mind.
Yes, it's going to take place. No, not far from now. Not in next January.
I think so. I think it's already being finalized. Usually, the ice sculptures are being finalized in December, so they open up in January.
Yes.
Yeah. And Professor, where would you want to go for holidays?
Maybe it's Jilin.
Jilin.
I think it's the best ski place maybe in China. Yeah, especially the Beidahu. It's maybe I think it's now for me it's the best ski place in China now. Other choice, well, back to my hometown, Fujian province. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're from Fujian.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Fujian province.
Yeah. Are you a skier yourself?
No, with my family, especially for my child. Yeah, because my child, he prefer to ski in the winter.
Now, Mohan, this year you've also traveled to Xinjiang as well, and Xizang and Chongqing. You were talking about that earlier. Did you notice a stronger international flavor in these places?
Yeah, like I said, Chongqing is definitely off the charts. It's way beyond what I imagined. And from what I've noticed, I think Xinjiang and Xizang, there are fewer international tourists there, so I strongly recommend all of you to go. I've lived in Lhasa City for half a year before,
really?
so
Right.
I lived in the place.
Yeah.
So in Xizang, you not only see the Potala Palace, the temples, you also see the natural beauty, the snowy mountains, and so on. And I know there are a lot of rumors surrounding these places, so you really have to go there and see for yourself. And those rumors don't hold up anymore. So just talk to the local people living there, and you'll discover the real China.
Well, thank you for dispelling the myth here for us. And Michael, you know, this year, the National Geographic magazine published its list of best places to travel for 2026. And did you know that Beijing was the only Chinese city chosen for the list, which is fantastic, right? Because we're all here in Beijing. Yeah. So for those who've never been to Beijing before, give us some compelling reasons as a tour guide to choose Beijing as their next destination.
So first, Beijing is a place where you can feel very close to history. On top of that, Beijing has more than 1,000 tourist attractions. You can actually stay here for a year to see the different stuff on everyday basis. And the city has a total different vibes from one place to another place. For the history, you can just go to the center of Beijing, to the Forbidden City, to the Hutong area, get a lot of historical vibes. And if you want to try the modern vibe, come to this area, like CBD area, or to get a sense of the beautiful landscape, to go to the Great Wall, Fragrant Hill. So we literally have everything, catering for all kinds of the tourists. So this is the perfect place to travel, to stay.
Every season, of course.
Yes, every season.
Okay, Professor, you've been teaching here for how many years now in Beijing?
Maybe, let me see, it's nearly 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
Now you can grab a handful of places to recommend for us. Something off the beaten path, something unique here in Beijing.
Yeah, besides the Great Walls in the Forbidden City, I will also recommend is Sougang district. Yeah, in Sougang factory. Yeah, because it's maybe like a modern Beijing. Modern Beijing, because you in the Sougang district, you can see how the old industry is transformed to the creative part. Now it's a sports part. You can see how the city renewal and during this process. So we think besides the traditional Beijing, if you in the Sougang district, you will see the modern Beijing. Yeah.
Wow.
I have the same answer here. I wasn't preparing questions. I wrote down the answer, Shougang Park.
Are you guys
It's really a beautiful place.
I'm really doubting you guys. Now, what makes Shougang, obviously I understand, because a lot of people are saying that Shougang is the new 798 art zone for sports, right? And you're coming from a family of sports, of course. No surprise. It's not surprising that you love Shougang Park. But tell us what exactly about Shougang Park. What is there that you do there?
Yeah, because as Professor said, it used to be a steel production plant. And in this area, you'll still see a lot of old factories, massive boiling towers standing tall. And besides all of that, there, like you said, in terms of sports, the big air jumping platform is there, and which was the venue for snowboarding and freestyle skiing for the Beijing Winter Olympic Games. So there's just a little bit of everything. Whether you are a cultural lover, you're into history, or you just want to enjoy the natural scenery, just visit Shougang Park.
Fantastic. You've sold me, guys. You've just convinced me to stay in Beijing for my next holiday and also to check out these recommendations, including Shougang Park. We appreciate you joining us to wrap up the year with so much to look forward to. Now, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll dive into the heart of the Forbidden City to explore the Qianlong Garden, a stunning space brought back to life through an unprecedented Sino-US collaboration.
A vast land of 1.4 billion people. The world's second largest economy. Home to stories of the unexpected, the unimaginable, the breathtaking. Stories that touch the soul. Feel the speed, the passion. Enjoy spectacular natural and cultural landscapes. Feel the thrill of cutting-edge innovations. Discovering China, Global Biz, China Travel. We present a China never seen before, 24/7 at your fingertips.
Welcome back to our year-end special on The Vibe. Joining us now are Gao Han, Chief Representative of the World Monuments Fund in China, Professor Zhang Jie from Tsinghua University School of Architecture, and my colleague Yang Yan. Welcome, guys. Great to have you all here. Now, before we dive in today, I'd like to show you something. We've got the centerpiece in our studio right here. Take a look at this print. This is a print created by the father of one of our staffs. We have a very creative team, obviously. Take a guess what this depicts. Let's start with you, Gohan.
Well, it's a gate in Qianlong Garden, I suppose.
I thought you were going to say my house.
I hope so.
Okay, well, Professor?
Well, it's definitely a garden. Yes.
You think it's a Qianlong Garden, or a garden, or any garden?
Well, it's an official garden. The style has a certain standard. Oh. So the color stands for imperial.
He's the expert. He knows. Okay. Yang Yan, what about for you?
I'm not an expert, but I think he's from Palace Museum, the Forbidden City.
Everyone says the Palace Museum because I think, well, I'm compelled to say that my guess is as good as yours. I say it's the Palace Museum too. Mm-hmm. It's actually the Qianlong Garden. Oh. And as we know that, Yang Yan earlier this month, she talked to Gao Han to unravel the stories behind the restoration of this mysterious Qianlong Garden. Let's take a look at this video first.
The Qianlong Garden is nestled in the northeast corner of the Forbidden City. Emperor Qianlong commissioned it as his dream retreat for when he retired. Its restoration was a joint effort by the World Monuments Fund and the Palace Museum.
它这个地方呢非常有意思，就是这个其实就是乾隆花园倦勤斋现在修复完成之后的样子。
This place is really fascinating. It's the restored Juanqing Zhai in the Qianlong Garden. One particularly interesting feature is the illusionistic panoramic painting on silk covering the ceiling. It was created using Western linear perspective techniques, which are fundamentally different from traditional Chinese landscape painting principles. In this sense, the Qianlong Emperor was a remarkably creative curator who brought the most advanced artistic ideas and painting methods from around the world into his own design.
I think it's safe to say the world is excited to see the Qianlong Garden, even though not for the first time, but we're all very excited to see what is really on the inside. Now, Gan, tell us, what exactly was the Qianlong Garden used for, and why is it called the Qianlong Garden?
So the Qianlong Garden is part of the Palace of Tranquil Longevity Palace, and in the Forbidden City, it has built in the late 18th century. Qianlong used the garden for his retirement life. So Qianlong himself abdicated to honor his grandfather Kangxi, and he really used this place for cultivating art, seeking for spiritual reflections, and he informally governed here.
Okay, so this is interesting. He retired and he abdicated the throne.
Yes.
But he still stayed within the Forbidden City.
Yes.
Now, normally I would have moved out. But he stayed inside the Forbidden City, and he coralled a little area, a little section of the Forbidden City.
Yes.
And he called it the Qianlong Garden.
He called this place the Tranquil Longevity Palace, but we call it Qianlong Garden. The garden named after Qianlong is because it's a private place for himself to display his own love of culture and art. So this landscaping, architecture, and poetry, and all these religious symbols are all come together. So Qianlong himself used this place to curate upon his own imagination.
Okay. Now, Professor, how much do we know about this Qianlong Garden and how much remains to be discovered?
I think it's a very good example for all of us to understand the Chinese way of life and their attitude to nature and with families and the official and the private, the kind of a relationship. I think Qianlong Garden as very key part of the whole Forbidden City. It stands for the private part. We know that the Forbidden City has a very strong official access, so its grandeurs, probably the dominant features or the space. But the Qianlong Garden shows another side of the whole Forbidden City.
Now, Yang Yan, I know you've visited the museum, the Palace Museum, a number of museums many times. You've also reported on culture jams throughout the country. You are also the mother of 2 kids. How would you imagine or like this Qianlong Garden be used for one day in the future?
Actually, it's a great question, Julian, but I'd like to tell you about, as a mother, to see how all these kind of art spaces what I dreamed that they would be used for. Because, covering a story for work or visiting an exhibition by your own or bringing kids to these kind of art spaces are quite different experiences. Kids notice things adults don't. Like for my children, they usually like the big video screens and hands-on multimedia sections. So this September, I bring them to an exhibition featuring Dunhuang murals, but they weren't really into it because I think their backgrounds, the stories, and their history behind the murals were complicated for them, especially for their age. But we know, but like my older daughter, she kept spotting snakes every time she saw it because she's crazy about snakes. In China nowadays, there are a lot of museums and exhibitions. They are doing 研学 study tours where teachers lead children through the exhibitions. But that's more about teaching facts, delivering knowledge. What I'd love to see more of is letting the children feel and experiment and play through games, coloring, like matching activities, interactive installations, stuff like that. But to be honest, nowadays we see a lot of museums and exhibitions. They are getting creative with this. So it's becoming a trend. So like you just mentioned the Qianlong Garden, I think one day I will definitely bring them to Qianlong Garden.
Okay. And Professor, you love architecture. You are an erudite scholar on architecture. But how would you imagine this space be used for one day in the future, other than what it's being used for already?
I think definitely it's good for architecture students to understand how the garden, the restaurants be designed and made. But I think for her a story about their case, the interest in the garden, I think like all the rock hills, in the garden, you have a lot of fake, real rock, but made artificial hill. And also you have cave. I think that also shows the Chinese way to, reactive with the natural, environment. Qianlong was emperor, but he could also be a very, very ordinary man. He liked to take a tour and wandering or lost in these caves or the rock hills. I think in the modern life, I think our case needs that.
Okay, he created a little mini universe, a little hunting game inside the garden.
He uses a very, very right word, minimum universe. It's a very, very Chinese concept.
So originally, the Qianlong Garden has a living hall, and it's so different from the outer palace, the ceremonial big hall, and it has a library, theater, and it's just he curating all these things together. So it has a very fine crafts, like the bamboo carving, the jade inlays, and a very sophisticated textiles as well. So all this place is literally the peak of Qing Dynasty art.
Yeah, I remember the inside, the interior is very simple.
Yes.
Although it has a lot of color and paintings, but in general, it's very natural. So you don't have the kind of very grandiose palace. You have a red or strong gold. It is very, very simple and sympathetic colors for the interior design.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
incredible.
subtle.
Yes, very subtle, yes.
Now, a lot of people who have not seen the Forbidden City or the Qianlong Garden, they probably would imagine that for an emperor, you probably would go for luxury, right? Because he's got the money and the riches to do that. But to the contrary, that what he did, what he created inside, was not only a mini universe, but it was simplicity. The restoration of the Qianlong Garden is a standout example of international cooperation in preserving cultural heritage, but is not the only one. Recently, Chinese conservation experts have teamed up across Europe, Latin America, and beyond, blending Eastern wisdom with local traditions and know-how. Take a look at this.
A prominent case is China's cooperation with France in the post-fire restoration research of Notre Dame Cathedral. China was the first country to reach an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with France for the project. Leveraging its experience from restoring ancient wooden structures, China offers technical expertise in charred wood, marble cleaning, and mural preservation, aiding material conservation and structural stability to restore this iconic monument. Working with Italy, China has advanced collaborative research and protection of the Dazu rock carvings, a World Heritage Site in Chongqing. This long-standing collaboration, which began as early as 2007, combines Italian experience in stone conservation with Chinese expertise in grotto heritage management. Meanwhile, following the establishment of diplomatic ties with Honduras in 2023, China launched a cultural heritage cooperation mechanism as part of their first batch of people-to-people exchange. This partnership includes museum collaborations, joint archaeological surveys, and restoration work at the Maya ruins of Copan. Through these cross-regional initiatives, China is leveraging its professional strengths to promote cultural exchange and advance global heritage conservation.
The Qianlong Garden is an effort between Chinese and U.S. collaboration. And Gohan, you were probably at the heart of this collaboration effort. Tell us more about the expertise strength of the U.S. and the Chinese teams.
So I think both of the teams have their different strengths. None of them can accomplish such a great project isolated. So the Chinese team, they really know the history and the meanings behind everything. So in certain ways, how they do the architecture, how Qianlong can, do the interiors, they do it with a meaning. So we decode together a lot of things, a lot of histories. And the American team, I think they bring the international standard, like the minimal inventions, like the reversible conservations. So you can see from the resort, so the conservation is not only about displaying the beauty, it's about respecting the authenticity of the history and also honoring the skills of the past.
And we know that China, aside from this Qianlong Garden project, China's also been actively involved in a lot of other international projects as well with other countries. Professor, tell us what exactly makes these international teams click so well.
I think nowadays, for UNESCO has this World Heritage, list, and also people trying to follow the common or shared principles. Although different country or cultures has its own heritage, special, made from special way or materials, but I think people trying to work out, could we set up a shared principles? I think that's the foundation why people from different cultural background and can work together, and also they build up even a more solid intellectual understanding.
Yes.
How the world heritage could be shared by the universal community, yes. Not only by the lay man, but also by the experts.
By everyone, because all of these heritage is not just for one country or one person, is obviously for mankind, for the entire world. Now, Yang, I know you from your experiences growing up in China, what are some unique features and advantages of these traditional Chinese architecture? Tell us about that.
As I travel around China, I am already astonished by the splendor and complexity of Chinese architecture. We can see a lot of wooden structures which naturally stay cooler in summer, and the drainage system, super smart. When it rains hard, the water flows right off the roof through the carved dragon heads and other fancy spouts. So it's not just functioning, it's poetry in form and engineering.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys been to the Forbidden City in the summer, because normally here in Beijing, it's very, very hot in the summer when I have to turn on the AC pretty much for the duration of the season. But if you go to the Forbidden City, there is no AC there, and it's cooler than my house.
Yes.
Why is that? It's incredible. It's the ingenuity of our ancestors, right? The Forbidden City, and that is just one of the pluses of these ancient traditional architectures, not just the Forbidden City. What are some ancient technologies or lost wisdoms that we cannot surpass even today?
Talk about timber structure building or architecture. We know over the years of quite a few thousand years, China had a very often earthquake, so the timber structure actually solved a great deal. So timber structure building, or the Chinese traditional timber structure building, can stand earthquake very well. And I think that much learned by the Japanese, even today. So I think in the modern time, how can we adopt that kind of structural logic in a modern material? It's still a great value.
And I want to go back to the Qianlong Garden restoration.
Yeah.
Did you also encounter cases where in the restoration process where there are things that we cannot replicate with our technology today?
There is a lot of things that no longer exist. All these Asian techniques in the 18th century is no longer there. So our team thinking this very carefully. First of all, we did a lot of replica for everything, and we put a lot of original things in the climate control storage for protection. And other than the replica, sometimes we put the original and the replica all together. So you can see not only the original stuff, you can see the process of conservation. So this is a very interesting part. So all these visitors, you can see the process in the second courtyard in Qianlong Garden now. So different details and different inlays and different techniques is all used together to do a great contribution for the conservation.
Well, that's an incredible feat. We've seen the result of the restoration on the Qianlong Garden, but what happens when heritage protection goes beyond one iconic landmark and extends to whole streets or even an entire city? How do the challenges change and what new solutions are needed? Let's follow Yang Yan again to Beijing's Shougang Park to see how urban renewal and adaptive reuse play out on a much larger stage.
Most tourists who visit Shougang Park for the first time are fascinated by its unique atmosphere. The old blast furnaces, silos, and cooling towers have been renovated and transformed into a blend of industrial, technological, rock, and sports elements, presenting a distinctive aesthetic style that even has a touch of science fiction. Among the attractions, the most notable is the famous Big Air Shougang, one of the main venues for the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympic Games. It is now open to the public for visits and winter snow sports.
我们不但把生态文明和石景山这个优秀的文化历史结合起来，同时呢，我们在改造的时候又把首钢的工业文明和工业遗迹给它有效地保留起来了。
Not far from Shouchi Lake is the number 3 blast furnace. It was a challenge to transform this massive blast furnace into a public space. The design team decided to retain the original furnace structure and steel exterior, but carried out extensive renovations and repairs. This gives it a distinctive and modern appearance with excellent functionality. I was completely amazed when I stepped into number 3 blast furnace. The historical buildings and structures have been beautifully restored and transformed into a vibrant cultural and recreational center.
Yang, this year you've covered many Beijing Old City upgrade projects. Which ones impressed you the most or were the most memorable?
Oh, Julian, as you mentioned, I've covered several stories this year about Beijing's Old City upgrading projects. And among them, I think Shougang Park is one of the most impressive ones. I highly recommend everyone to check it out. Shougang Park is a powerful example of how China breathed new life into its industrial past. Take number 3 blast furnace, for example. After 15 years of silence, it has been reborn as a digital museum. And the whole Shougang Park is transformed from a steel factory into an innovative cultural hub. You can see sci-fi conferences there and international expos there, and all kinds of major events happening throughout the year, and we are expecting more. So I think it's not just a renovation; it's a fresh start, which honors the past, the history, while stepping forward in future confidently.
Well, you're clearly a fan of Shougang Park and a great ambassador too. And Gohan, did you visit any of these upgraded old districts in Beijing?
Yes, I did. I visited a lot of places and sites in Beijing and in all over China, and especially WMF have involved some of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Which one stands out for you?
For example, about 20 years ago, we involved into this Yunnan Shaxi Marketplace area projects. And we do this pilot programming, advocating, and marketing for the Shaxi Marketplace, and it's later received a UNESCO Asia Pacific Heritage Award.
So before it was a market, and now it's before it was a market, an
now
open market.
It's an open market, but it needs to be conservative. Okay. And we did a little bit of research and advocating for that.
How would you conserve a market or preserve a market? Did you? That sounds like something quite extraordinary.
So it's two parts of that. One is, I would say, intangible heritage. It's the market, it's the behavior. And the other one is the architecture. I think the conservation is all about, you bring the community and the people and the history to grow up together, not only, isolated them.
Beautifully said. You're also preserving the community as well, which is very, very important. Now, Professor, from an expert perspective, how has this concept of old city transformation evolved in the past 10 years?
I think China's practice actually moved very fast. We started urban or city conservation in the early 1980s. Over the last 30 years, we almost catch up with all the advanced concept or theory, and now because Chinese practice moved so fast, actually at a certain aspect leading the world thinking and practice in conservation. We know that a city or a street or a neighborhood is a living thing. It's not something or object you put in the museum, don't touch it, or put in the fridge, froze it. So the international community agreed on that the city has to be, in the process of changing and development. Yet we need to have a balance between the past, present, and the future. And UNESCO encouraged HUL, how method. That means you accept the historic layers of development, so we can, from the layers, we can read it, know how the people live and thinking or whatever, doing in the past. And today we can lay down another layer, so future can lay down another layer. So this is a very widely adopted international principle. I think China has a lot of great practice or projects following that principle. I think Beijing did a very good job over the years. And myself and our team, we have done quite a few important projects in China, like in Jingdezhen, the porcelain town had 1,000 years of history, and they had old traditional kilns shut down, and the early modern kilns shut down. So how are we going to link the closed down working place to trying to renovate it and help people back and to support the new porcelain art development? So over the last 15 years, Jingdezhen actually succeeded, and now it has all the new young artists come to Jingdezhen, enjoy their art making. And a lot of other young people, they may not making porcelain or ceramic art, but they would like to be there. And so now Jingdezhen is have a very, very strong attraction to all kind of people to be there. I think that's how you use heritage to make it more creative and also to find a more sustainable way to develop the economy and give wider benefit for the community.
Yes. What you just described, it sounded like a piece of art itself, the sediment of time and history.
Yes.
It's a piece of art. Thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing and for helping us wrap up 2025 with insight, inspiration, and deep respect for the architects and the restorers of time, as I like to call them. Thanks for joining our year-end special here on The Vibe. I'm Julian Wacken in Beijing. See you next year.